Hello from my car office. I'm coming on to talk to you guys about Sit in Your Center online. It's open for registration. Come on in. It starts February 2nd. And I was having a conversation this weekend with a couple of my female clients, and one of them was talking about how, we were talking about her business and how incredibly successful her business is, and she's just a dynamic powerhouse, really. And we meet those people that just, one of their gifts is to make visions come into form, and they understand structure, and they make it happen. So we were talking to her about how clear she is about her business, but she was having questions about her interpersonal skills, like some of the personal relationships that she has around her. And I said to her, would you ever work with a client that when you sat down with them that you understood that they couldn't afford you, that they couldn't pay for your... She's like, no. I said, could you do that same evaluation when it comes to bringing people into your personal life? I'm not sure exactly where the habit comes from, that when we see the potential, which I don't really want to diminish seeing the potential in someone and being available for their growth, because we have our own potential and we want to be available for our own growth. But when it comes to doing business, when money is involved, people are like, I see the potential, but then I'm also like, can they deliver on their potential? Is there signs? Is there concrete that we will both be fed? One of my favorite metaphors my dad had told me once about going into business with somebody is, he said, just make sure you're both eating. If you sit down to dinner and you're eating a salad and they're eating a steak, that's not who you should be doing business with. You're both eating salads, no problem. And I think of that because I think sometimes if we're people that see the potential and we want to help people, we can be like, oh, it's going to be okay and I can help. And how has that worked out? How has that worked out? Sit in Your Center is an idea of creating space for you to come back into your center, to drop your breath back into your center, to have space to learn some skills about how the female anatomy and nervous system actually runs information differently, so that your instincts and your intuition and your when people say oh, you're too much and you're just over responding to it, it's actually you're not over responding to it, because the way that females integrate information, because your automatic nervous system runs through your entire body and it is not compartmentalized, you do feel things from a different process. And why we don't know simple things about us. So that's the first month, is body, is learning some simple things to for me, when I learned them, whether it was through Naomi Wolf's work or Tara Moore's work or even Hillary Hart, Dr. Estes, these powerhouses that are committed into telling us information that we could figure out in some cases for ourselves. But there's so much going on and we're so pulled outside of ourselves that sometimes we don't even realize that there is accessible information about us on the inside, because we've kind of also been dismissed as women on how we know things sometimes and where our certitude comes from. So anyway, the first month is body. We're going to be talking about that. The second month is mind. So we're going to be also going to be learning practices there. And the second month we'll have a creative arts therapist and Waldorf teacher doing a guest class talking to us about myth and using myth to understand some of the stories of our life. And then the third month is spirit, and we will be having a friend, herbalist, and astrologer talking to us about the practicality and the benefit of having astrology and understanding the herbs and the elements as a way to come into ourselves. In addition to that, each month we'll have a live call. We're going to have a focus for the month, and I will also be giving you some reflective tools based on what you've learned each month. And then there's going to be availability that if you have questions coming up, you can submit them, and I'm going to send back a live video or a recorded video to everyone addressing our concerns or questions. Because here's the thing, when you enter a container, similarities of possibility and similarities of confusion arise. And then all of a sudden, in this really isolated modern world, we're like, oh my God, it's not just me. It's not just me. And that alone creates space in the nervous system, because it could, I shouldn't say does, it could alleviate some of the shame and frustration that why can't you get it right? Why can't you understand it? And then you're like, oh wait, it's been culturally placed upon me. We haven't really had these conversations, or my workday is so busy that I'm just like forgetting that if I have a structure. Like I had a client yesterday say that when she was driving to the session, she was thinking about the things that she was going to work on in the session. She goes, that alone, she's like, just creating this space brings into the front of my mind what you're dealing with, digesting, what you're envisioning. It doesn't have to be negative. It can be things that you want to create the space for. It could be, I just want to like reconnect with myself. Like my life has gotten so far and so fast. So it's called Sit in Your Center, because I believe that when women can sit there and re-inhabit their form, clarity comes. And my pauses, but also so does compassion. Because we enjoy interconnection and we enjoy nurturing. We just need to remember to include ourselves. So, have a great Monday. Thanks for listening. And I hope to see you in Sit in Your Center. It's going to be a good time.